Hi, Blake here. I'm just going to talk about how we are using vocoders to change the sound of footsteps and stomps and make them sound a little bit thicker and heavier in the low end. In our Anthem sound replacement project, we have a giant mech machine, or two of them, walking through some fairly dense jungle and on some concrete surfaces. So because of the weight of the machine, we need it to be fairly heavy. We recorded a lot of footsteps in the bush ourselves, just stomping the ground, and now it's time to sort of layer these and try and get them to sound a bit thicker. So what we've come up with is this. Right, these are just the first couple that I've been editing here. We had a session together the other week and we put this vocoder method into practice and it turns out pretty well. So to explain why you would use a vocoder, particularly Ableton's vocoder on this, if I go to the live manual, we can get an explanation of what vocoders are and how they work. So in the manual it says that vocoders work by running both the carrier and modulator signals through banks of bandpass filters. The output level of each of the modulator's filters is then analyzed and used to control the volume of the corresponding filter for the carrier signal. The modulator setting in Ableton's vocoder uses the modulator itself as the carrier. This essentially outputs a resynthesized version of the modulator signal, but allows you to use vocoder's sound shaping controls to adjust the sound. So in practice that looks like this. If I solo this layer, which I've called the donk layer, here. Super thick. Without the other effects on it, it sounds like this. Super weak. So obviously this EQ here is doing a little bit of lifting, but if I take off this compressor and vocoder, you'll see that it's not really doing that much. So it's adding a little bit of low end, and then immediately afterwards I've taken some of the super low out of that, just because that's a fairly extreme EQ curve to have down there. If you compress that so that it's sending the maximum amount, like 20 dB of additional signal into the vocoder, then these bands start to do their job properly. So what this looks like if I were to do these one by one. So that shaping capability is what gives this its tone. So it's essentially taking the same sound, putting it through its series of bandpass filters, and then using itself as the carrier as well, and then outputting whatever these strict bands will allow. So yeah, cool, that's that. I'm going to keep layering these. This is the process so far, is just to get one very thick layer underneath it, and then use the rest of the stomp sounds and Foley to shape that into something that actually sounds like the mech should sound. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.